Hey friends, we're in the middle of a series on how you can know God's will for your life. How do you know what God's calling you to do? That's what we've been talking about. And we started the first week and we said, just do all you know to do. Be obedient in every area you know to be obedient. Do the next right thing. And then the second week we said, pray. Pray like crazy. Pray continually. Pray specifically. Pray passionately. And we talked about how to ask God specific questions so you would know when He was answering your prayers. Last week we talked about going to the Word, just in your daily devotions and your regular quiet times, asking God to speak to you right off the pages that you're reading. He does that through His Word. And then today we're going to talk about a fourth, very practical tip for knowing God's will. And this is one that I've done many times and I really recommend this. And that is to seek the counsel of a wise friend. Find someone that you trust and respect and ask them what they think. Present your case before them. Let me share a verse with you. This is scriptural. This is Proverbs 27:6. It says, Proverbs 27:9. It says, the heartfelt counsel of a friend is as sweet as perfume. There is something about when we take our issues and our questions and those things we're working through and thinking through and praying through, and we present them to a friend, their wise counsel is like perfume back to us. Let me give you an example of this. This past week, I sought the wisdom of a friend. I was praying about a new facet of ministry for our ministry, and I just said, what do you think? And I kind of presented what God had been laying on my heart and some things that I was dreaming about and praying about. And this friend, who's a very wise and heart friend, someone I know and trust that loves me, she just began to ask me great questions. And it sort of sent me back to the drawing board, back to praying, back to seeking, back to wondering. And I don't have the answer yet, but her wise counsel was just to ask me really good questions. And so you may say, well, I don't have a wise friend. I don't have a counselor to talk to. And so here's what I want to recommend. I want to recommend that you begin to pray, that God will send you wise counsel. And then you begin to look for those around you, a pastor, a teacher, a professor, a neighbor, somebody you work with, someone in your church, a Sunday school teacher, someone who seems to have a happy marriage or has great kids or is doing well in their job or seems to handle their money well or just seems to have a lot of insight on life. Somebody who loves the Lord, and you just seek that person out and say, hey, can we go for a cup of coffee? Can we have lunch together? I'd just love to run some things by you. And that's what you do. You just tell them your situation, you run it by them, and you say, what do you think? Do you have any wisdom for me? Do you have any counsel for me? And you can do this with more than one person. It doesn't just have to be one counselor. In Scripture and Proverbs, we're told there's wisdom in the multitude of counselors. And so it might be that you seek out 3 or 4 people who you really respect, and you say, what do you think? And you ask God to give you direction through these counselors that you seek. It is a great step to take. And so I'd love to know, have you done this before? Has it worked for you? And if you've not, why don't you give it a shot this week? Just give it a try. And I'd love to know how that works out for you. Hope you have a great week. I hope you're being encouraged by these videos. And join me next week. We'll do one last video on how you can know what God is calling you to do. Have a blessed day.